I must admit, I am enjoying the festive.
Oh, the colours are lovely.
Yeah, it doesn't feel as ostentatious as it did last year.
No.
Although it does make me wonder, are they called Christmas decorations because we put them up in Dec-Cember? What?
I don't know.
Okay, it's probably the best answer. Well, 2 more to go. And then it'll be the big... No, not the big sleep, because that's...
No, it won't.
No. Although, if we could find something to do with the big sleep, that would be awesome.
I've actually seen the big sleep.
Have you not?
No.
I've got a copy of it somewhere, I'm sure.
Oh, okay.
I'll dig it out. It's awesome. Hello, and thank you for joining us on the penultimate of our December shows for 2021. We are I'm channeling my inner beaker. We are Maybe Movies. I'm Max.
I am Sam.
And every month we pick 2 films, take certain key characters out of each of the films and drop them into the plot and storyline of the opposite film and see if they will sink or swim. This month we have been looking at 2 great Christmas films. We've been looking at Scrooged and It's a Wonderful Life. Check our earlier episodes from earlier in the month to see how Frank Cross got on at the other end of the 20th century.
Indeed.
And we are up to Act 2 of our new version of Scrooged, which is, as I just said, is called Wonderful. I didn't say that.
No.
It was in my head, and you knew that. Before we get into that, as we always do, we're just going to do a very quick shout out to one of our friends out there in virtual reality. And today is going to be for Richie the Foodie. Thank you for your comment last week. It's very much appreciated. Lovely to see you here. Richie, as I'm sure you can imagine, is a cooking channel. Mostly does very short cooking ideas and recipes and stuff. Normally no more than about 10 minutes. And some really, really simple stuff in there, which I am going to be putting into good practice when we're trapped here for a whole month with nothing to do. Again, that's the appropriate reaction. Okay, so we are going to launch straight into this. Very quick recap from what we did last week.
Hang on a minute.
What?
Numbers.
Numbers?
Numbers. Am I wrong? But isn't this
Oh,
our 100th upload?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Well,
see?
well,
forgot.
well remembered. Well, you started. Please, I'm going to help myself to wine.
Okay. So this is in fact our 100th upload to the channel. Thank you, all of you, for sticking with us through all of this. Hopefully, you'll be with us for another 100 more.
Please do. We are very fragile in our egos, and we need your approval. So, first of all, almost Christmas. Cheers, but more importantly, cheers to us for getting this far.
Cheers.
Back to what I was saying. So, very quick recap on what we did. Do I breathe them too hot?
Yeah.
I did order mittens and they haven't arrived.
I'll figure it out.
I did actually look up. I was trying to get someone. I couldn't do it. But I looked up. I typed in mulled wine mittens.
Oh, right.
And the ones that I kept coming up with are like real cashmere mulled wine mittens for $159.99.
You are shitting me.
No.
The things people will buy.
Sorry, we will get to the recap. We're going to get there now. So the recap itself. So what we've decided was that in this setup, George Bailey is the president of IBC.
Mm-hmm.
He is a good man, but much like George Bailey in It's a Wonderful Life, he is not the master of his own destiny. He is constantly being beset with other people's problems that his altruism will not allow him to go ignored. As a result of which, the people nearest to him, so his wife, his children, and all these kind of people, his brother, are being neglected.
Yes.
And the powers that be have decided to send 3 ghosts to visit him on Christmas Eve to show him the error of his ways and remind him of the importance of him being a good man, not just to everybody else, but to those personally related to him. That pretty much sum it up?
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty succinct summation.
Before we go any further, I do very quickly want to jump back into last week because I realised something that I think we're missing a trick.
Right, okay.
And that's with Bryce.
Okay.
In Scrooge, his purpose there is pretty obvious. He's there to be the guy looking for Frank's job.
Yes.
And Frank being a very hollow and callous man, that's something that's important to him. He doesn't want to lose his position.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can also... something that's kind of fundamental about George. George wants to get away. He wants to live his life. He does everything because he feels he is obligated to.
Yes.
So you drop somebody like Bryce in there, there's the risk that we wouldn't get the conflict that you get in Scrooge, because it's like, oh, well, here's somebody who can do the job, can do it very well, is obviously liked by the cast and crew, let him have it, I can go off and spend time with my family.
Yes, of course that does mean he loses his job.
It does, but he's president of a TV network, he's probably got the money that he can afford to lose his job for a while.
Okay.
So I thought there is another way that we could include him.
Right.
And still keep the character and the traits of Bryce the same, but still keep him as an antagonistic element in the story. Because you know I was saying last week about when the ghost of his old boss turns up and he phones home and Mary's not there.
Yeah.
Not so much to do with that. I'm thinking a little bit down the line when we're looking at the scenes with the ghost of Christmas presents.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking we could slip Bryce in there as a friend of Harry's who takes a shine to Mary. We haven't got there yet, but my thinking is if Mary goes to Harry's party, which her and George are supposed to both be going to, he can't make it.
Okay.
It's something, I just wanted to raise it now, but we'll come back to it when we get there because we'll have to see how it plays up to that point.
I'm not sure where it goes. But we can try it and see.
Yeah. So, as we left it...
he just jumped into the taxi with the Ghost of Christmas Past.
This was where I was worried when I first looked at it. I thought, oh, we might hit some breakpoints here. Because unfortunately, but for very right reasons, we stole a lot of George Bailey's earlier life and gave it to Frank Ross.
Yes.
So we're now going to have to kind of...
give George some of Frank's life as well.
Are we saying that we're going to see a version of Peter Bailey that's closer to Earl Cross in this?
Well, see, this is. I mean, I knew this was going to be a problem. I mean, to be honest, the whole second act is kind of a problem. Plenty of people grow up to be really good people in spite of their parents.
Yes. Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily fundamentally change George's character to have his father be more like Frank Cross.
Okay. So
But it would show where his obligation to working comes from and earning a wage.
Okay, I suppose, again, as long as we are happy to, again, change the character of Peter Bailey.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, what I looked at it as I thought, well, can we insert some scenes here that are of our own, but that typify this? So things like instead of having him save his brother from falling through the ice, in this scenario they've grown up in New York, not in Bedford Falls. Could it be he saves his brother from being bullied?
Yes. Yeah.
And then I thought, because they are a closer knit kind of circle of people, you could then have a young Mary sees that. So she's always there in the background. So we still get a little bit of what we saw in A Wonderful Life of the history of their romance before it's even a thing.
Right, yeah.
But we can include her in those scenes as being part of his group.
Okay.
For the bit where he's at the party, or when he's still working at the office party.
Right.
For that scene.
Uh-huh.
We could do... And again, there's something missing. I couldn't... That's why I'll tell you what I've got so far, but I know that it's not quite complete. But it would be like a cutaway, so you've got him still working at the office party, because there's stuff happening and nobody's doing anything about it. So
exactly.
he has to, yeah.
Yeah, he's doing it because nobody else is doing it.
If we still want to see what's happening with Mary, we could have a more kind of frat party that his brother's throwing, and then she's there, and oh yeah, George is coming later, and so we're seeing her expectantly waiting for him, and he never shows.
Right.
But it feels like there should be something else, and I can't put my
Right,
finger
I
on
was
it.
going to say, because we're getting into dangerous territory of they're supposed to get together, not be separated. Mary is his wife.
I'm just trying to key into those same beats that, it took him a while to get there, because George is a bit awkward. That's all I'm trying to emulate.
So, no, all right, so you'd have Mary call him from the frat party going, why haven't you showed up? And I'm sorry, dear, I just can't. There's so much that has to be done, and everybody else is falling over here.
And somebody's just spilled champagne on the photocopier.
Maybe that will show, so that we show their relationship, so that's why she's calling him.
Yes.
Like they are in a relationship, but he's not turning up to the party because of work.
That works. Brilliant. Okay.
Okay, alright, cool. That's one thing we got back.
The really nice Christmas that they spend together.
Yes.
I didn't know whether that should be an important occasion. I don't know. I didn't want to say their marriage, because that would have been too much. Or, no, that should be for the next one, shouldn't it? Well, that could be one of these two scenes, either this one or the scene where I was thinking one of them could be set at Christmas and it's the birth of one of his kids, but he can't be there.
I was thinking something like that.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest, I'd say that's the Frisbee the dog scene.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, yeah.
And I was thinking that nice Christmas, I think that's their first Christmas as a married couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the two of them. They're enjoying each other. It's that perfect moment before, they're about it again. It's that perfect, like there's like the peak of their happiness, and then this is where the job starts to take over.
Yeah.
And it's not just, I'm doing this because...
So it's the nice Christmas together, there's just the two of them, and he's just been given a promotion.
Yes.
Everything is coming up roses.
Yeah.
And then obviously the next time we see them, it's a year later.
Yes.
He's been doing this job, it's getting to him. She's in the hospital giving birth and he can't be there.
Yes.
I was wondering as well, is with the ghosts in this,
Mm.
do you think that's still going to be as heavy-handed with George? Because they're not there to, per se, punish him. They're there simply to open his eyes.
I mean, certainly with the Ghost of Christmas Past and Christmas Future, I don't feel like they need to be changed because I don't feel that they're that mean.
No. Obviously, I was
it's
thinking...
Christmas present.
Yeah.
That's the problem. But then we lose Carol King's lovely performance.
We do. I'd rather keep it. I'd rather keep it if we can. So the interim scene between the two ghosts.
Yes.
We're going to be covering that in this act as well.
Yeah.
Because we don't have the outreach program and all of that stuff, we need to fill that with something.
Right.
My thinking was, the night before when the ghost calls home and Mary's not there, she's got 4 kids to look after. If we say that that's also Zuzu is now ill, she can't cope without George being there to help her, so she's gone to her mother's.
Right. Okay. That works.
George obviously needs to know what's happening to them, so in this interim scene, instead of having the stuff with outreach, he goes to find Mary.
Uh-huh.
We get something similar to the argument that they have in It's a Wonderful Life, where he goes off after the money's been lost.
Right.
So we're starting to see, again, a break between them, and which is why I was going to have Bryce in the Christmas present scenes at a party with Harry, in which Mary is at. So we're kind of saying that, look, what you're doing, you're driving a wedge between you and your wife. Here's somebody who is going potentially is what she wants. I'm not saying that Mary is at this point thinking of leaving him, just dangling the carrot. And we could put Bryce in that role.
Right. I do think your idea bears merit. That we should have that scene. I'm just not sure that it should be Bryce. That there should be a character in the Christmas Past, like we were talking about, like one of Harry's friends or whatever, and then like have a Christmas present scene where
that guy is back again.
Where that guy's back again, talking to Mary or what have you, comforting her or something like that.
Brilliant.
So we get that marital pressure, but we also maintain the pressure at work, because otherwise it still doesn't. We need to keep.
Of course we do.
Moving,
of course we do. Yeah. There was a couple of things. Sorry, you were going to say. I didn't mean to.
And that explains why Christmas present is being mean to him.
Yes.
He's being a bloody blind fool.
You need to wake up, as she says. To wake up. Yes, of course we do. Oh, that works. There's another possible breakpoint here as well. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
George isn't the kind of man that isn't going to know that Grace's husband was killed. And I can't see him. I mean, again, he's the president.
Yeah.
He's not the kind of guy who's, if he has any understanding of it, allow his PA to live in the kind of squalor that she lives in.
You see, this comes back to, it's a bit like what happens with Loudermilk. It's not George doing it.
Mm. See,
it's Preston, or it's Bryce, it's one of the suits. He thinks she's being paid perfectly reasonably, and now he's finding out that she's being paid a pittance. So the shock for him isn't that she's widowed, the shock is that she's living in this state of poverty. And it's like, I thought she had the standard X, Y, and Z salary. What is this? Oh, Preston downgraded her 5 years ago and didn't bother telling you.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah, that works.
Because that's it. His good nature has allowed him to become blinded to the situation that he's in.
I was just thinking in terms of, well, he's the president. He has the ability to set people's wages. It's within his power to do
but
that.
Also, people like that tend not to. It tends to be
the people below or the people above.
People above or accountants, people like that, penny pinchers.
Yes, I like that. Yeah. And then we still, with, as we say, we've just been discussing, we get the scene at Christmas present, his brother's party.
Yeah.
Mary's there with the kids, and then we've got this character who she's met, who she hasn't seen since the frat party all those years ago.
Yeah.
And he's very attentive to the kids, and and you kind of get that suggestion that if he doesn't do something, somewhere down the line, this could go a certain way.
So, it doesn't work quite the same way, but because we've lost Herman because of losing Operation Outreach.
Yes.
I'm wondering if we could insert a scene of Loudermilk in there. Like passed out after he's come out of the blood bank.
That's exactly. I had Herman ? Loudermilk underneath.
It's the only thing that kind of makes sense. Something that would reach into and really make him feel bad. That you know, Christmas Eve and this guy's lost his family, passed out drunk or whatever. You know, it's not as hard hitting as Herman. But
no, I was going to say. We're saying that we're keeping Loudermilk. We can't let him die. At
we
this
can't
point.
let him die. No,
that's what I was thinking.
We want to see him at his low point.
So you'll get a scene with him. Not maybe with George trying to wake him up. He can't wake him up. And he goes, oh, he sees the doors. I'm going to go get help. Bursts through the door. Obviously, he turns up back on set. The door slams closed. And that's what wakes Loudermilk up.
Yeah. There we go.
And that's the end of the act. Or I was going to say...
Because we made it through the act.
Because I knew this was going to be a bit tricky one. I thought we'd keep the interim scene between this and then the third ghost and include that on the next episode.
That's what I figured out. I've got Act 3 starting with him freaking out with the made-up ghost from the actual show.
Yeah,
you never
hiding
behind Grace and stuff.
Okay, phew. Oh my god.
I was really not sure if we were going to make it all the way through this act. So many ways it could have fallen apart.
Yes, there is. Did I make any notes on this? No, I did have... Oh no, that's for next week. No, next week, that's for next episode. I know something I thought, a piece of trivia I thought was, oh, is that going to be a piece of trivia? But then it wasn't. But we'll talk about that in a couple of days.
Indeed we will.
Or in a few minutes, who knows?
Whichever way you want to think of it.
Anyway, thank you for stopping by yet again, and we will be back on... I've done it again. I will, on Friday, do this at the beginning of the episode, just to remind people that January is our month off. So after Friday's episode, there'll be no more Maybe Movies until the beginning of February. But again, I will do this at the beginning on Friday.
Indeed, we will. Honest.
Cool. Anyway, till then, take care.
As always, guys, TTFA.
Ba 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 ba.